video, you're gonna learn how to use your walking cane for self-defense. Starting in this position, as if you're walking with the crook facing behind you, you can simply slide your hand down the front, put it between you and the threat, and then thrust into his face, stopping him from coming forward. Pull to the shoulder, slashing through, striking maybe the temple, maybe the jaw, maybe the neck. Maybe he's reaching with a knife, or he's trying to grab or stab you, breaking his arm, coming off the other shoulder, striking, coming through horizontally down on the top of his head. Those are some of the basic strikes. We're gonna go over those. Also, I'm gonna show you how using the crook facing him, you can bring it up between his legs, you can bring it across his face, bring it back, bring it down on top of his head with a simple spinning motion. I'm also gonna show you how you can pop it up into this position, thrust, smashing him into his face, bringing it up here, hitting him under the chin or maybe between the legs, smashing that hand again, catching with the other hand, thrusting through his face, chopping down, using the crook here to rip the skin, the nose off of his face, the eyes off for self-defense. But we're gonna start with the palm in the crook of the cane and spinning forward. Now you're gonna do this spinning motion as a warm-up. Good morning, student, or good afternoon, it's good to see you. This spinning motion puts callus on your hands. It also is gonna help you learn timing and distance. This is gonna help with proprioception, the feel of your cane. It's gonna help with spatial awareness, where your cane is in time and space as it relates to your body. You can do this motion with one body or one cane in one hand, leaning into it, putting your body weight on your cane. If you need a cane to walk with, you can use one cane to lean on, one cane to strike with for self-defense. You can do this seated in a chair. And I promised a chair. Forgot to bring a chair out to the garage. I'll bring that and show you next time. But this basic warm-up spin is where I want you to start when you start learning how to defend yourself using your walking cane. Thank you, Studer, for that super chat. Much appreciated. Your hand is closed, but you're not squeezing. You're pushing and pulling in this circular motion. Good afternoon, Bill. Hello. Brago, good to see you. You're just going around. Then you're going to bring it across the body and back in this figure 8 motion. And again, this is to build skill into your self-defense training with your cane. You're also going to be able to bring this up, smash down, bring it across, bring it through here, down on top of his head for self-defense. So the spinning has a purpose in addition to just warming your body up. When you come across the body, think of slapping with an open hand across his face for self-defense and then a backhand to the other side. That's the same motion, bringing it here and back this way. You have a palm strike or a slap, not a strike. You've heard that saying, slap the taste out of his mouth for self-defense. And then a backhand motion. When you've done that for 30 seconds up to a couple minutes, put it in the other hand and you're gonna do the same thing. Your hand is closed but not squeezing. You're making this push away, pull back motion, spinning here. Your other hand is up. Your feet are just under your body. Doesn't matter where your feet are. Or you can do this sitting, like I said. You could be seated. You could be leaning into another cane for balance. You're gonna come across the body and back. This is also gonna build your cardiovascular fitness. It's gonna get your heart rate up. I'm pouring sweat right now. It's hot here in the garage. Got the watch on so I can see the heart rate. But you're doing this so that you can improve your fitness. Your striking speed is gonna be faster. You're gonna hit harder. You're also gonna start to improve your breathing. So I call this spinning, we call this combat cane spinning. And it's like skipping rope for, a boxer. When you learn to box or Muay Thai, kickboxing, you skip a rope, a jumping rope, and you do that to build capacity as a fighter. It's cross training. So think of this spinning, not just teaching you how to hit and strike and defend yourself, but also in your warm-up as a way to increase your overall fitness. Now, after you've done that, I'm gonna have you slide your hand down the front of the cane, Pick it up so that it's between you and him, almost holding it like a sword. And I want you to practice this first set of strikes. If you are interested in getting certified to teach the cane to another group, this is something you're gonna have to demonstrate to someone like me to get that certification. First thing is a simple thrust. When you thrust, you have to understand 3 ways to increase the power of that thrust. One is through turning and through your shoulders and hips, that rotation. The second is the extension of the arm. And the third is acceleration. Just like a boxer, when a boxer fights and he throws that jab or he comes across with that cross punch, he's moving the front foot to bring the body, the weight of the body into that punch. So you're hitting a lot harder. He's extending his arm. He's rotating through the shoulders and hips so he can hit with maximum force. This is a way to accelerate and to increase the power of your punch. So starting here, get in a better position, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. The hand that's forward, in this case my right hand, puts my right foot forward. So same side of the body. Thrusting motions first. Second, from your shoulder, coming through this first diagonal strike. And think temple jaw, or think clavicle ribs, or maybe you're going to hit that arm, he's coming through. But all of them are coming off of your shoulder. Never from out here in space. This is too wide, you're gonna miss him. He's gonna close that distance, you're gonna wrap your arm around the body. So you have thrust is 1 from the shoulder, from the other shoulder, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 is gonna come palm up, across the body in a horizontal strike, palm down, coming across, striking again. Horizontal strikes, you can do it to the head, you can do it to the body, you can down, bend the knees, striking his knees, taking his legs out from under him. Maybe it's a vicious dog who's attacking you, you're walking your dog, you have to knock him back. So these first strikes, from this position, cane is between you and him, thrust, angle down, across, back, straight down on top. You're gonna have to demonstrate those if you wanna be certified to teach cane, or this is just a great way for you to practice to get better. Put it in the other hand, always practice both sides evenly. Bending the knees, thrust, angle, 2 angles down, 2 horizontal strikes, 1 strike down the middle. You wanna add to that as you progress. After these 2 angular strikes down, strike up. And you think about hip to clavicle, or jaw to temple. So that it's coming up, palm facing down, coming off the other hip. And again, these come through the center of your body. You don't want to be wide, right? You're not wide out here, you're not gonna hit anything, but through here, striking through his spine, coming up this way. So from here, thrust, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Switching your feet, get the other hand up, bend the knees, put it between you and him, thrust, 2 angles down, 2 angles up, come across, come back, down the top of the head, and switch. And then you just do this, increasing speed with each set, over and over, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a little bit faster, so your heart rate's coming up, so you're striking full power. When you need to practice full power in your garage dojo, so if you need it for real, he's coming at you for real, you tell him back up, get out of my face, you give a verbal command. Now you can bring these through and hit him like you mean it, right? You're gonna hit him with full power. Next thing I want you to do is slide the hand down, get in this better position, and practice this turning motion. Just came from church, after church. We go, we have a big meal, Saturday, stuff the belly. And my belly's heavy, so I'm breathing hard. Anyway, so Tracy says, it looks good, great concept, Filipino. This is just one set of strikes, Tracy. We're gonna get through some other strikes that some will work better at different ages. In my experience, because I've been doing this now, teaching cane self-defense for over 15 years, 2 Senior citizens, 60, 70, 80 years old, they all get better at this. They all end up increasing speed. They all hit harder. Some of them have to use one cane to lean on. Sometimes they're confined to a wheelchair and it doesn't look the same as mine, but they get stronger. So I disagree with you just based on my experience. I see people get better and better at it. There are other ways to use the cane for self-defense. And when we talk about older students who have limited mobility, they're not able to move, they can't lift their hand up, literally. Sometimes they can't lift it this high, or they can't lift it like this at all. They're not getting these strikes in. To your point, you're right. And they can still defend themselves effectively. So there are other things, I assume that's what you're saying, there are other ways for them to learn to defend themselves. So yeah, and Tracy says practice, 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 absolutely. But this is just the first set. So sometimes people carry the cane and they aren't an older person who is frail, whatever frail is, right? Frail just means you've been disconnected for a while from moving your body and you can get back into it and become less frail. Other people have palsy, right? They're born with a cerebral palsy. Or they might have muscular dystrophy, and as every year they get older, they get weaker. There's no way around that. That's the reality. Some people are wounded warriors. Some people wounded motorcycle drivers, right? We have all kinds of reasons why some people work really hard their whole life and they have compressed discs and they lose mobility and they end up walking with a cane. Some people have a hip replacement like me and need another one, and this is actually the best it's felt for the last 3 days. It's been on fire lately, and I've been leaning into it more. And so there are all kinds of reasons that people might use a cane. Some people might use a cane because it's the perfect gray man or gray woman option, and it is a mobility tool. It's a medical tool that you're allowed to take anywhere and everywhere you go, onto a train, onto a plane, through the TSA here in the United States, through airport security, into a concert venue, big Taylor Swift concert, I don't know, whatever it is, right? And that might not mean you want to carry it, but if you did want a tool for self-defense, you're allowed to carry it anywhere you go, and no one's allowed to ask you, hey, why do you need that cane? You look too young, you look too fit, or whatever. You just tell them, hey, that's my personal health information. That's none of your business. I use this cane. This is my mobility device. And you also, because it's a perfect tool, can use it for self-defense. So the first set of things that I wanted you to know were these simple strikes that are similar to Filipino martial arts, Akali, Eskrima, Arnis, Sakal, Doche Perez, whatever you want to call it. Also come from a lot of other stick martial arts that are not necessarily Filipino, from Japanese styles and Okinawan styles. But they're just basic angles, right? And they're easy to learn, and it's a good starting point if that's appropriate for you. The next thing I want you to see is that having this crook facing backward or forward. Forward, ergonomically, is better because of where it brings the length of the cane out from the pinky side. And when you lean into it, using it as a medical device, this is actually better way to carry it. You can also bring this up very quickly between someone's legs or up under their chin, or maybe they're reaching again to choke you or poke you or grab you or punch you or stab you or slash. And you can smash that hand and knock it out of the way explosively. But the point is you're putting it between you and the threat. So you bring it up, and then I want you to practice with your palm facing the sky. Bring your hand up to your ear and then down on top. So 1, 2. And you can see that when you're doing this, you keep this also close to your body, and it makes it very easy. I'm using almost no shoulder. This is all lower arm, forearm, and wrist, which takes a lot of the stress off the shoulder if you have mobility issues in your shoulder. And you can generate a lot of power. And when this hard piece of oak, 36 inches, comes crashing down and smashes him in his forehead, you're attempting to knock him out for self-defense. He's trying to take your dignity, your life, your freedom. He's trying to hurt you. He's using using violence against you, you're gonna use violence against him. That comes from Tim Larkin's book, When Violence is the Answer. I put the link to these Cane Masters self-defense canes. Cane Masters, in my opinion, makes the best self-defense canes. There's a link in the description. This is their least expensive. This kind of middle of the road. You want to spend a little bit more, get something fancy. That feature right there is nasty. For self-defense, it's going to compress the flesh and break the bone much more easily than the big round one. But you can go on their website. The link's in the description. But Tim Larkin's book, When Violence is the Answer. Those are the principles of self-defense. Number one, situation awareness. Pay attention. Put your phone in your pocket. Stick it in your bag. Stop staring at it while you're out in a vulnerable situation. Number two, get in a better position. Put the cane between you and him. Number three, ask yourself, what can I remove or destroy? His ability to be awake. There's that crash on the top of his head. Maybe you bring it across and back this way. Just like a windshield wiper, right? Smashing him across his temple, into his jaw, maybe into the neck, hitting that process of nerves that flushes the blood from his brain. He falls to the ground like a sack of poop that he is, right? 1, 2, 3, and you finish him there. And these are all turning the shoulders and hips, right? That's the lower arm coming down on top. So it doesn't take a lot of force to generate, because you're holding here at the pivot point, and you have leverage, and then all of the force is concentrated here at the tip. And that's what you're gonna hit him with for self-defense. So what can you remove or destroy? His ability to see, breathe temporarily, permanently. Maybe you bring it up here into that other hand and you thrust straight forward. Maybe you bring it up under his chin, right? You smash him here, hit him down on top, put it in the other hand, push him straight back. This piece of oak, you can see the tip wore off, the rubberized piece. Even if the rubber's there, it's not gonna matter. Smashing through his nose, smashing through his teeth, smashing through his throat, into the solar plexus, into that thin piece of muscle, that fascia that keeps your guts in between your belly button. Forgot to take that out. That's my church self-defense tool. For those of you who asked me that before, I prefer the 380 for church. It's just a pocket tool, self-defense tool. But the cool thing is, because a lot of people will come in the comment section later and say, just carry one of these. Well, I do both, right? One of these isn't always appropriate. One of these might be more appropriate, a non-lethal. Or I can take this to my church. I can't take that onto a plane, right? I'll be in jail for a long time. I can't take that into the train. I can't take that into the concert. I can't take that to the comedy show that has the metal detector. I'll have an appointment as a contractor to some schools. I can't take that into some schools. The public schools all have metal detectors. And if I'm not there in a capacity as security, and I'm not working there that day, I'm not carrying that through. My hip's really hurting, I can carry this. You can carry this. That's the whole point of this. And it's not one or the other. It's not either carry something like this. I'm trying not to show the whole thing. I don't want the algorithm to pick it up, right? But you can always carry this anywhere and everywhere you go. The other, so non-permissive environments. Non-permissive environments, places you can't carry one of these for self-defense. And some people say, well, I'll just never go there. Yeah, what happens if you get a summons? What if you get a jury summons? And then you'll say, well, I'm not gonna register to vote. Whatever, you get my point, right? I also like it, you can lean on one and you can use the other one. All right, I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but I know what it was. I'm starting to sweat so much. I don't like to, if I sweat too much, I'm gonna have to clean it, right? And I dry fire every day. I don't know if you conceal carry, I believe you should dry fire every single day. I practice things that I might have to do every day for my job too, not just as a citizen who believes in the ABCs, always be carried, right? But when I sweat a lot, then I'm gonna get rust and I'm gonna have to scrub it. And the Marine in me has already done all the scrubbing with all the oil. I can't stand any rust. You should never let any rust get on your self-defense tools. All right, so from here, the next thing I want you to be able to demonstrate to me, if you're interested in teaching self-defense cane, is that lift and then that turn. And it shouldn't be with the whole arm, right? You see, I ran into something overhead. Maybe you're in a low, maybe it's close quarters, right? You're in the hallway, walking into a business, you're in the breezeway, you're on the train, on the bus. You should be able to do all this without running into a ceiling. And you'll do that if you keep this tight. I also want to see from here, across and back, and then down. And then on both sides. Everything should be demonstrated, both sides. And you're not going to be as smooth on one side as you are the other. Unless you are, you might be ambidextrous. The next set of techniques, when you're learning how to defend yourself with your walking cane, is popping up right here. From here, let me get rid of a couple trolls who are sitting in mama's bedroom, or not bathroom, that's gross, but probably mommy's basement. They never got a job, right? They're sitting down there, they're throwing poo at other people's channels. That happens every once in a while. Keeping it 100, it actually is a thing. It's a big thing, it's grown. This started Hapkido cane. I think Hapkido and Kung Fu both have canes in them for hundreds of years. Hapkido is just jiu-jitsu, Japanese style jiu-jitsu with a Korean name. The Korean name is Hapkido. But using a cane for self-defense has been around for a very, very long time. There are a lot of different styles. There's now Bartitsu, whatever it was in, the Kingsman, maybe something like that. I forget the name of the movie. But yeah, and yeah, Joseph's been to more traditional tournaments. You'll see it more shown there. James Caan, the famous actor who passed, I think last year. I think he's passed. I hope I didn't just kill him. He's like a 5th degree black belt or higher. And this Skip Ewing, who's a famous musician, one of the most prolific top #1 country song hit writer. This guy's brilliant. Anyway, he's a 5th degree black belt. He does the cane. It's been around a long time. So from here, the way I teach it is much more, it's not the martial arts style so much as if someone's getting you in your face, I want you to get them out of your face as fast as possible. I want what you do to work. I want it to work for any age, any physical ability level. And so it has a little bit more practical moves in it. From here, sliding it up here, that's what we're doing. You have 2 ways to get it into this position. One is bending the knees, sliding your hand down, and then picking it up. And the other is to pop it up. That's one of the other reasons why when we warm up, I have you do this kind of spinning. That's so you can get really good at this. So it's in this position, he's coming too close, you give the verbal command, get out of my face, you're too close, thrust. Extend the arm, turn through the shoulders and hips, step if you need to really knock him out. Then from this position, this hard bar, this hard knuckle, this big fist of oak is gonna smash his nose, his teeth, maybe his throat if you have to. Smash here, and then you're gonna answer your phone. So you bring your hand here. That brings this long piece of wood up under his chin, smashing. You might miss him. Maybe he's reaching for you, he's throwing that counter punch, you break that wrist. You're gonna throw in your other hand, and then you have like a bayonet attack with a rifle. Smashing through his eyes, his nose, his teeth, his throat. What can you remove temporarily, permanently? All those come from Tim Larkin's book. The book is in the description below if you want to get that book and read it. Smashing through here, slide your hand down a little bit, and then bring this forward. Think of an axe, a firefighter chopping through a door to save some young kid who's stuck, he's stuck in the house. Mom got out, dad was at work. Mom tried to get to him, she saved the other kid. There's a firefighter chopping through the door. Big burly dude coming to save the little kid, right? Just picture it. From here, thrust, answer your phone, bayonet attack, firefighter chopping through the door. This here, smash into his nose. This part here, if you hit and then rip, it's gonna pull the nose off his face for self-defense. It'll rip his teeth out of his mouth for self-defense. You can stick it in there, pull some of that skin. It's gonna hit all those nerves. You can hit it into the temple. You can go into the ear. You can get it in his neck. You can get it behind his neck, pull him down into your elbow. You can get it up into that meat in the back and pull it down this way. And then lift this up. Think between his legs, under his chin to finish him off. Andrew asked it, will it work with a cane that folds? A lot of these techniques will work with the folding cane. You've got to get your folding cane out and practice it and see what works and what doesn't. Sometimes those folding canes will break. Some are made better than others. Some have a stronger material than others. None of them are going to work as well as a Cane Master self-defense cane. The link's in the description below. But if you carry a foldable cane, you can still defend yourself with it. In fact, you can defend yourself with an umbrella, a full-size umbrella. So you pop it up to this position. We'll do it on the other side so you can see how much you practice. Thrust, answer the phone, get it in the front hand, push, chop, pull, and then lift the backhand up for another strike. Those are just some of the things that I want you to practice and be able to demonstrate if you want to get certified to teach. I also want you to get it in two hands, like you're going to do push-ups with it, and just smash him back. Stick that bar of oak through his teeth or through his nose, into his body. Box his ears, hitting from side to side. Using both hands now attached, you have so much more leverage, so much more power. And then I want to see you turn the wrist, Irish shillelagh style, right? Like you're fighting with Irish sticks. When you do that, you're turning your shoulder to get more reach, right? I turn my shoulder, I can hit him closer, or hit him harder, hit him farther away. That's what we want. We want to keep him as far away as possible, especially if he's got something like this. If you have a cane, a walking cane, you can see you have reach advantage. You can reach him before he can reach you. You don't want him to reach you with that, either stabbing or slashing. So from this position, slide it down here, step in here, smash, 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 box his ears, turn the shoulders and the wrists, finish them off. Either hand, doesn't matter. Just straight down, cracking him on top of the head. I'd like to see you demonstrate that also. All right, Lehi says, or Leahy, whichever one it is, continue to look forward to the exercises adapted to the derby cane. Now the derby cane, and I apologize, I still haven't got one. Derby cane just comes back, it's just a straight handle on the back. You can do every single one of these with a derby cane. And think of it, it's just a different shaped axe. Chop, 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 right? Reach out. You can pull him in with a derby cane. You can smash him back with a derby cane. Now these are not all the moves with the self-defense walking cane or the walking cane for self-defense. They're just some of them. I do want you to also, if you're going to teach, or if you're serious about training and want more power, I want you to get a resistance band. Bon Ivers, thank you so much for that super chat. I want you to get a resistance band. I put a link in the description if you need to get some. They're super inexpensive. It's like a whole gym. What's a gym membership? The cheapest, the purple gym, is like $10 a month. That's $120 a year, plus all the junk fees that they put in there that they hide when they pretend it's only $10 a month. It never is. It's probably, it's closer to $30 a month. It's $360 a year. This thing is like $12, $13. You put it on your cane, and then you wrap the band around your back, and you put the band over the bottom of your cane. You adjust it a little bit, and now you're doing bench press or standing push-ups. And this band, I think this one is rated like 140 pounds maybe. I don't know if it's that much, but it adds up. And I want you to do time under tension, so don't worry about how many. But do this over and over. And what this is gonna do is build power in your chest and in your triceps. So that when you strike with your cane, you're gonna hit so much harder and faster. Then you can stand there, let it just hang for about 30 seconds. And then pushing down, you're gonna hit the bottom part of your pectoral muscle, your lower chest, so you don't get saggy pecs as you get older. My wife's personal trainer, who is a bodybuilder, female bodybuilder, she always says, no saggy pecs on men. That's a bad look. It always stuck with me. No saggy pecs, okay. So you gotta activate the lower part of your chest, and you just do it for 30 seconds. You're building power, your muscles are getting stronger, and then you let it rest. Another 30 seconds goes by, you're gonna go up and hit the top part of your chest. They call that the movie star muscle. Think of Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt. those tiny little men with well-defined pecs. You know, you look good in a shirt because the upper part of your chest is strong. And pushing up, will make that top part, your décolleté. I need to rest there because that's burning out my triceps, doing them back to back like that. But the great thing is you can get so much done with just this band, right? Next thing you can do, bring your hands in, do diamond push-ups. All while you're standing up or sitting in a chair. So if you've lost mobility, you can't go on the ground and do your push-ups anymore, you can do them all with a band, sitting in your wheelchair, sitting at the edge of your bed. And you can bring them up from your forehead. This is all tricep, all upper arm. This is for men and women, by the way. You can bring that down, put the band under your bum, and then sit into it. Bring your hands on the outside of the bands and curl. Squeeze at the top. Let your wrists turn down a little bit to isolate those biceps. Rest for a bit. Bring your hands in. Hit a different part of your upper arm. Rest a little bit. Palms down. Hit that forearm, that big forearm muscle that holds your cane, increases the power in all your strikes. Either inside, that one's hard, or outside. Hold your stomach up and in, abs tight. You can drop it, step into your band. Not just one single loop. Curl here, or bring it to your chest. You can press, standing military press. This was kind of hard for a standing military press. I have another one that's thinner that I would do for that. Caronculus. What a silly name. I carry one too. I just took it out because it was getting super sweaty. This is my church gun. Church guns I go small because there's a lot of armed security there. When I'm working, I have a much larger caliber with multiple magazines. And then, depending on where I'm going, if I'm in a permissive environment where I'm allowed to carry a gun, I carry a larger caliber still. I'm a 1911 guy. It's the first gun I carried in the Marine Corps. But I also carry this, and I carry this in my car. I have one, and when I pump the gas, I always have this, where I get the gas. It's the cheapest in town, which means, I think there was a shooting there yesterday. I wasn't sure. There were like 7 cop cars and 3 ambulances or fire department trucks. One was an ambulance. And then the ambulances left, and then the cops are still there like an hour and a half later. So I assume it was a shooting. So I carry one of these at the gas station. But I also get out, put this down, start the pump, and I'm standing here. And if somebody comes up too close, maybe it's just an aggressive guy who's asking for money, I can say, hey man, you're getting too close, right? Back up. And I'm in a position that I can immediately defend myself if I have to. I usually carry it here, this side out, so I can also punch, smash, right? Rip it across, change hands, bring this up under his chin, make him bite his own tongue off, goes flopping into the little pile of oil, engine oil from that last car who needs a bolt tightened or something. My point is, I don't believe in one or the other. I believe in both. I also carry a pocket stick. I also carry a bladed self-defense tool. Need to oil that, that's getting all sweaty. I also carry shorter sticks in my car. I prefer these in my book bag. I've got one of these in the book bag, and I have an expandable baton. And I'm not gonna use them all. This is more of a non-permissive environment. When I go into, I've got a concert coming up, I can't carry this into the concert. I can carry this into the concert. I can't take this in through TSA onto the plane. And you might say, yeah, but you know, they're protecting us on the plane. You don't have to worry about it. You and I probably think alike. I'm not gonna wait for someone else to protect me or my family. You know, in church, I know they have security, but I'm not gonna depend on them to protect my family sitting next to me in church or myself. When I go into the grocery store, I'm certainly not going to expect Publix to protect me and my family. I'm going to protect my family. When I go into a non-permissive environment, I might go through the metal detector, and they've got armed security or the sheriffs or whomever there, and then you walk down the hallway. I don't know when somebody else is nuts in there, and they're in there trying to hurt people. I'm gonna have an extra self-defense tool. So in my opinion, it's not one or the other. And yeah, and Andrew says, never would have thought that you could even do exercise after being disabled. Watch the Paralympics, my goodness. I'm not yelling at you, Andrew. I'm just saying, if you've seen the Paralympics this year, these guys, amazing what they can do with no legs, no arms, one leg. Have the guy who he has no arms, he shoots the bow and arrow. The guy's a gold medalist from the United States. Shoots the arrow with his foot. I mean, it's incredible what you can do. So don't let anybody ever tell you if you're old or if you're disabled or if you have had any kind of medical challenge that you can't learn how to defend yourself with a stick. That's all this is, a stick with a hook on the end. Or any other tool. Just don't buy it, right? There are always ways to adapt it. We always did adaptive martial arts, and you'd see the kids and the adults out there, some who didn't have legs, and they're out there doing their kata, some who, are all on the arms. I saw this guy this year at the Paralympics, American wrestler, and he's no legs. He's out there wrestling, and I bet he could pin me, right? So don't believe it that people are limited because of our limitations of our imagination. You're only limited by what you think you can do. And you don't know, I don't know, only God knows what you can do. Andrew says, out of stock with the bands. Just look for another brand. It doesn't have to be any particular band or brand of bands. There's a link in the description to Amazon where I get these, and they almost always have them. But you can also look for these. If you live in the United States, go to TJ Maxx or Home Goods or Marshalls. That's all the same store, really. And yeah, Walmart. Walmart has bands. Thank you, Studer. Walmart has them. Target has these. Dick's Sporting Goods has these. Sports Authority has these. You can get, and they're all within, less than 20 bucks usually if you get the smaller one. And just get one to start. Get the smallest one, get really good with that, go up and add one. You'll never spend more than 50 bucks for a full workout. One day I'll show you how to do these without the stick, how to do squats, push-ups. I mean, anything and everything, pull-ups, any part of your body, you can do it with one of these. Anyway, you guys have been awesome. Studer and Ivors, thank you so much for those super chats. You guys have been awesome. Yeah, keeping it 100, you sharpen the end. I wouldn't sharpen the end. That shows intent, that you intended to hurt somebody, and you don't have to sharpen it for this to be effective. That's a hard piece of wood with a hard piece of rubber over top of it. You smash that, his nose, his teeth, his eyes aren't gonna be able to withstand that. His throat is gonna collapse under just a few pounds of pressure. They're not gonna be able to withstand that. You can stick that into his solar plexus, stick it into his privates, and you're gonna actually be able to stop anybody, move them back. Anyway, you guys are awesome. I will see you on the next one. We're gonna do this week, we have more long staff. I'm rebuilding the curriculum for Bo staff and Joe. If you wanna get certified and get a belt in Bo or Joe, the staff, or the Hanbo, we can do that if you want to. I have curriculums for all that I teach you in person. I'm gonna put those online, and then we can do a video chat, and I can check your skills. We can do it that way if you want. Or just train for free. Do all this stuff. You don't need someone to give you a certificate to say that you can defend yourself with a stick. I always say invest your money before you invest your time. Or no, it's the other way around. Invest your time, learn everything for free, and then if it's important to you, then you can get this stuff. But, all right, day and night, good to see you. Tanuch, thank you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Big Five has bands. Bon Iver says Amazon has them. Absolutely. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thank you very much.